So the nosodes, we have two groups of nosodes cases. It occurred to me in general practice that sometimes we have a nosode case that I would call a miasm nosode case, and sometimes we have a kingdom nosode case. So in a miasm nosode case, the whole case, whatever topic is discussed or whatever level we are talking, the main idea is the central idea of the delusion. The delusions are the delusions used by Rajan Sankaran, who are based on, how do I say, actually on rubrics. He based his whole idea on rubrics, but he understood them as a classification of delusion. He said, since the disease is delusion, and since miasms are classifications of diseases, then miasms must be classifications of delusions, which is a logical idea. So in some cases we can see that the acute panic is everywhere. Yeah? If it's an examination, if it's a relation problem, when a person has to go to work, whatever happens, if he has a physical complaint, the only basic feeling is acute panic. Another person, whatever he tells, comes down to the feeling of crisis. I have to do something quickly in order to overcome this life-threatening problem. When he overcame it, the crisis is overcome, then he's completely at ease. The basic idea of Sora is an optimistic idea that by effort you will overcome the problem. Ringworm is, I have to try to overcome this problem, but since the problem is, let's say, half psychotic, because it's acceptance, it cannot be overcome. The psychotic problem is fixed, yet not fatal, but it will never go away. So there are periods that the ringworm person feels, I just have to accept. There's nothing I can do about it. The problem is there to stay. I can live with it. It won't kill me. And then other periods, he will try again to manage the problem and to do something about it. Malaria is the combination of acute characteristics and psychotic characteristics. So on the one hand, it is fixed. Psychotic problem is fixed. You have to live with it. There's nothing you can do about it. And there are acute attacks of this problem. For instance, you have migraine, then the person can feel unfortunate. I always have migraine when I eat tomatoes and I can't go out with my friends because if I drink a glass of wine, I will always end up with a lot of migraine. So he is very unfortunate, he's limited, he's hindered by his problem, and then he has the acute attacks on top of that, even worse. Psychosis is, the problem is fixed but not fatal. You can hide it, you can deny it, you can accept it, but somehow you have to live with it. There's nothing you can do about it. So cancer is between syphilis and psychosis, and it is the idea that the problem is fixed and it's potentially fatal. Yeah? And if everything goes out of control, there will be chaos, and chaos is fatal. So I have to control the chaos. Leprosy miasm comes from the idea, it's very near to syphilitic miasm. Yeah? Things are unsolvable. The problem is potentially fatal, and I'm very close to it, and nobody wants me, nobody wants to help me. There's no help for me, I'm all alone, and I'm outcasted and I'm disgusting. There should be also tubercular miasm here. Tubercular miasm is another one between psychosis and syphilis, and it's another combination of the two, another way or coping up with these two characteristics, fixed, potentially fatal. So the tubercular person feels he has to change somehow the situation, otherwise he will be killed. I have to do something, I have to do it quickly, or it will kill me. Any change is better than staying here and waiting for the end. While syphilis, the problem is unsolvable, unbearable and fatal. So what can you do? The only thing you can do is a destructive action. You can't stay and do nothing because it's unbearable, so you have to do something. But whatever you do will lead to no solution since the problem is fatal anyway. So the only thing you can do is destructive actions.